Hey you guys, what's good? Welcome back to my mother freaking channel. I want to give a quiet shout out to Cassie Dantes, The Diary of Fawns, My Life on the Hill, and Kristen Sneed. Thank you guys so much for being the first four to comment on my last video. Thank you so much to everyone who tries to make it to these videos. I really appreciate you guys coming here to hang out with me today. So I am doing a very detailed from start to finish polygel set doing the Lazy Girl method. The Lazy Girl method is really nothing too revolutionary. It's honestly just using a soft gel nail to do kind of like the après method, but instead of using extend gel or base coat gel, we're using polygel inside of the nail. So it's kind of like a cross between après dupe and a dual form. So except you don't take the nail off, you don't take any type of form off, the nail stays on and it becomes a part of the set. So this is my sister's hands and I'm preparing her nails. I want to show you guys how to do the whole preparation from start to finish so you know how to create a set that's not going to lift on yourself or your clients. So the bit that I used earlier, that ball bit, that's really good because you can use that on the skin. It's really gentle. It will take off like little dead skin all around the nail and on the actual finger itself. As long as you don't press down too hard, you can definitely use it for that. And I'm gonna use this one to actually cut back the cuticle. That one has a very sharp edge. And then I'm just gonna use this cuticle pusher. I find that sometimes this is needed, sometimes it's not needed. It depends on who you're working on. Like they might have a very thick cuticle. Some people don't really have much cuticle at all. So just use discernment with that. But after that step, I'm gonna go ahead and just put some scratches on the nails so that the product has something to adhere to. I'm also gonna nip anything that's kind of sticking up and waving at me. I don't do a very like aggressive nipping. Some people like to do that, but it just freaks me out, so I can never do it. I only nip what looks like it's really ready to come off and come away from the nail. So if anything looks like dry or ashy, I think it's like dead, so I'll take it away, but I don't really want to take off anything that's living, so I just get really freaked out, so I don't do the most. And I kind of just recently got into nipping. I don't think it's something that's completely necessary because I literally used to never do it at all. I just used the cuticle bits and that was enough for me. But it's up to you. This bit, this nipper from Enail Couture is the sharpest thing I've ever used in my life to nip, and it helps so much to have a very sharp nipper. It's almost like a damn samurai sword. Like, you have to be so careful, have to be incredibly careful with that thing, because I can literally just take layers of her skin off and she won't even realize it, so be super careful with that. I just dehydrated her nails using the YoungNails swipe on my paper towel, and that's gonna take away all of the dirt and germs or whatever and oils from the skin and the nails, so her nails are completely ready to go. If there's oils and dirt on the nail, it's gonna cause lifting, so you gotta get that away. And I'm applying 2 layers of the YoungNails Protein Bond Primer. That's my favorite primer. That's probably the most important step for your nails to last, is to get that primer on there, and I just wave my hands over it so it can start to dry a bit. It just needs to get like it looks like it's tacky. Don't touch it to see if it's tacky, just look at it, and if it looks like it's a little bit dry and tacky, then you can go in with your base coat gel. I think this is probably my favorite base coat gel. I know I've always said like I don't have a favorite, but I feel like this one is just like trustworthy. I feel like I can trust it more than any other base coat gel. It's one that I've been reaching for a lot lately and I haven't had issues when I've been using it, so I kind of feel like I can trust it, I guess. So that's the prep done, and at this point, you know, if you want to do acrylic extensions, if you want to do gel, builder gel, polygel, with any extension method, that's the prep that you would do for all of that to have a very long lasting set. It can work for any extension method. I've used it for every type of extension method, for acrylic, everything, like anything you can imagine. I've been doing it this way for the longest. I just feel like base coat gel, having that as the first layer on the natural nail, is so helpful. It really just grips onto that nail and doesn't come away. So that's what you got to do to prevent lifting. So now we're going to do the Lazy Girl method. So what I recommend is to find some full cover nails. I prefer the soft gel nails. I feel like soft gel is going to kind of stick onto whatever product you're using, whether it be acrylic for this method or polygel for this method. I feel like soft gel, because it is gel, it's going to literally like stick on without any issues, any problems. Sometimes ABS plastic has a tendency to like pop away or lift away if you don't pre-etch it. In that case, you would just have to pre-etch the nail. So these are the XXL Coffin. I choose these more than my other nails from Enail Couture 123 Go system because these XXL Coffins, the way that they're built, I just like that they have a very pinched kind of like shape to them. I can fit a lot of polygel inside the nail, and around the cuticle area they kind of just fit like a dream compared to the XXL squares. The XXL squares don't really work for this method as easily as these do. I'll have a video in the cards where I do the lazy girl method with XXL square, and it's definitely a whole different like experience. So you will need to kind of experiment and see like which nails that you own that are full cover work well for this method. I do like how the XXL stiletto work for these, and the newer shapes, the tapered coffin and the tapered stiletto, work just fine as well. So I'm just going to put some clear Modelones polygel inside the nail, and when you're doing this method, if you want to maintain a C curve without having to go in later and file out the C curve, you want to apply the polygel inside the nail and then smooth it out to the length that's, you know, your desired length, whether that be the entire nail or you just want like a medium length nail. You don't want to waste your product, so I just brought it down to like the middle, and then before it got fully cured with my flashlight, I'm gonna cut it so that, you know, the polygel is still soft right now, so it's easier to cut. It's not super like difficult to do that. So using that flashlight, we're just gonna flash cure it right on her finger, and then I'll send her into the lamp for a full cure after this. So yeah, to maintain that C curve, like I was saying, you want to apply that polygel really thin. The bulk of the polygel should be towards the back end where the cuticle is, and then towards the free edge of the nail, you're gonna be thinning it out, and you wanna kind of make sure it's going from sidewall to sidewall throughout the whole full cover nail. And you wanna make sure you're maintaining that C. Sometimes if I overfill the nail with too much polygel, I completely lose the C curve and I have to go and file it out, and that just takes more time to do. This method, the reason why I kind of did this method is because I was tired of having to like just take so long to do my nails. Doing it this way, you have like this perfect smooth top that you don't really need to pull out your e-file for. I'm gonna pull my e-file out in a little bit to show you guys one step that I do to like make these look really perfect and kind of take away that press-on nail look to these, but you don't really have to pull out the e-file. So if you're someone who is very comfortable with the hand file versus the e-file, this method helps a lot. So I'm just cutting these down to the desired length comparing to the other hand, and then I will be hand filing on screen in a little bit. So if you notice that any of the polygel kind of like squeezes out of the top, you can use something to clean it off after 10 seconds of flash curing. It will be kind of like the right consistency to just flick away, or you can just scrape it away before you flash cure. It just depends on what's easier for you. So this is after getting a full cure. I'm gonna go in with my cuticle bit and just kind of smooth around right here at the cuticle so that it doesn't look too much like a press on, and we're just trying to kind of blend it. And that's all you really need to do with the e-file at this point. I just go in with one of my favorite YoungNails hand files. This hand file, I like it a lot because one side is like, I think 180 grit or 100 grit. I think it's 180 because it's very smooth. And then the other side is an actual buffer. I like using the buffer when I get towards the client's cuticle area where like all their skin is, because I don't want to irritate them with an actual file rubbing against their skin all the time. So I will kind of like, when I'm ready to get in all those nooks and crannies, I'll turn the file over and use the soft buffer because it's way less irritating to the skin. And using both sides is going to give you a really smooth finish. Today I'm going to be painting her nails with some gel polishes, and when you go into paint, you don't want any like ridges or bumps or divots in the nail, so that you can have a very smooth, even surface by the end result. So doing this step will really help with that. So this is the color I'm using. It is a gel pot. It's really thick, and it's like very pigmented. I decided that using this acrylic brush from YoungNails is actually a lot easier to use for painting. I think because the hairs are very long, the hairs are very soft, and I can do like this flowing application with this brush. It just kind of, it was something I just picked up and started using. I don't have any gel brushes that have super long hairs like this and aren't really soft like this. All my gel brushes are like polygel brushes, so they're very short and the hairs are very thick. And it's like when I was using the polygel brush to apply the pink polish on her other hand, I noticed that I was getting super thin layers and it was uneven. So when I switched to this brush, I got a way better result. And I personally feel like all brushes are kind of multi-purpose. I feel like as long as you clean it really well, it shouldn't be an issue, but that's just me. So after I was done using this for paint, all I had to do was just clean it out with some of the slip solution that I had nearby, and it was like right back to normal. So I'm going to do 2 layers of this color, curing between each layer in the lamp, and then I will top coat the nails.
Stabilizing. Hibernation activated. All the things we do for dreams. All of the things I do for me. I know what to say. Nobody around to do it for dreams.
So we are top coating the nails. I'm just using a little like Macart top coat that I've had open next to me. And this is just a shiny top coat. The nails are matte because she had to go to the bathroom after I did the paint. So I took off the tacky layer and that made the nails look kind of matte. But yeah, we're just gonna do the top coat here. When we get to the other hand, things are going to look very strange, very different. And that's because I did these hands on 2 different days. The pink hand I did first, and I ran into a bunch of technical difficulties. We actually were planning to do a yellow look, but the yellow paint that I was using was really not very pigmented, and I ended up having to completely file it off, and there was just it was a big mess. So if you see like little scraps of yellow under her nail, just bear with me on that.
What you want, fool? Well, good morning to you too, boo. You coming to the party tonight? One for the two for the three to get you going. Rats in the one for the two for the three to get you going. Rats in the place. The OG funk bandit, the beat to the R-A-T. In fact, if you ain't heard of me, take a seat, lay back and listen as I bust. Word up, hey, word up, hey, word up, hey. For real,
to my car, babe. What you talking about?
Giving up, letting go. Times we might feel compelled. Looking down from the heights that we have built all by ourselves. And there is fear of the unknown, but we cannot lose control when we feel like the world is against us.
So yeah, this is the final result. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video and learned something. Let me know if this was helpful. Let me know what you guys think about this set. If any of you guys are new, please subscribe and hit that bell so you never miss any updates from me. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Thank you so much to my patrons, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Love you, bye.